I think it's Ohio State for some of the reasons that you mentioned. No team has have assembled a roster that was more expensive than what Ohio State trotted out on the field this season. Now, they lose at home as a 3-touchdown favorite to Michigan at home. And rightfully so. I think some of the people in Ohio, in Columbus, was like, hold on. Are we sure Ryan Day is the right guy for the job? Because we can't beat the team that we despise the most, and we want to beat more than anything other than food and oxygen. Beating Michigan is a necessity in Columbus, Ohio. And so you started to hear the whisper. Is Ryan Day the right guy for the job? Now he could erase all of that, get to and win the national championship game, and then there will be no more questions asked of Ryan Day.
You serious?
Yes, what Shannon Sharpe said was indeed serious. Really, Shannon Sharpe, you're going to doubt Ohio State again, especially after Ohio State blew out Tennessee in the college football playoff? Wow, just wow. This is Sports Guy Talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Shannon Sharpe predicting Ohio State to fail in the college football playoff again. Shannon Sharpe is saying that Ryan Day is under the most pressure out of all the collegiate coaches in the college football playoff. Of course, Shannon Sharpe also believes Oregon will come out of this game victorious against Ohio State. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. Can Ohio State get revenge on Oregon in the Rose Bowl game? I'm going to say yes to this. This is truly a pick'em. I know Ohio State is slight favorites to beat Oregon in this ball game, but I truly believe this game could go either way. For many people, the winner of this game will go on to win the national championship. I know that it is only the quarterfinals round, but based on the teams that are left in the college football playoff, it seems as if Ohio State and Oregon are the two best teams left remaining in the tournament. That is how high people value both of these teams. You look at Ohio State, on paper, they are absolutely loaded. Their defense is elite. The front four can get to the quarterback at an elite level. Their linebackers are excellent. Their secondary does a great job covering up opposing pass catchers. They do a great job shutting down the pass and run game. Offensively for Ohio State, they are loaded all over the place. Running backs are really good. You got to believe in Quinshon, Judkins, and Trevon Henderson. They're one of the better 1-2 backs in the country. And then at wide receiver, you've got Egbuka, you got Carnell, Tate, you got Jeremiah Smith, who might be the best wide receiver in college football. That is how high I value Jeremiah Smith. I look at how Ohio State not only beat Tennessee, but they absolutely demolished those guys. I said before the game, if Ryan Day loses to Tennessee in the college football playoff, he needed to get fired in the parking lot. Well, guess what? Ryan Day sent those guys packing from Tennessee because they absolutely blew the doors out of Tennessee. They never even made it a game. They won 42-10. Will Howard was absolutely phenomenal. If Will Howard continues to play like he did against Tennessee, Ohio State will not only beat Oregon in the college football playoff, they're going to win the national championship. Ohio State is one of the best teams in the country when it comes to talent. Their defense is excellent. Offensively, they're loaded with talent. The only reason why Ohio State even lost 2 games this year has been because of Ryan Day. I get the criticisms of Ryan Day. They're completely valid. The coaching for Ohio State is definitely the weak point, but you can't deny Ryan Day's ability to recruit at a high level. The guy knows how to attract 4- and 5-star level players. That's how good Ryan Day is as a recruiter. Do I wish Ryan Day was a better X's and O's coach on game day? Absolutely. Did I wish Ryan Day would stop being so stubborn at times? Absolutely. I wish Jeremiah Smith could continue getting the football all the time. If I was the head coach of Ohio State, I would tell my quarterback to make sure to feed Jeremiah Smith at least 10 targets a game, because that's how good Jeremiah Smith is at catching the football. The guy knows how to get wide open, and he is a generational talent. Against Oregon, I expect Jeremiah Smith to have a huge game catching the football. He should be able to torch up Oregon's secondary, and I believe Ohio State can come out of this game victorious. As far as what Paul Finebaum said about Ryan Day, he said that Ohio State had extreme expectations and that they need to go far in the college football playoff in order to save Ryan Day's job. Of course, that is a ridiculous standard to hold any collegiate head coach to. I found his takes to be rather interesting. Roll the film.
If he loses to Michigan, which would be 4 in a row,
and somehow gets bounced out of the playoffs perhaps before the final game, I think the decision could be to get rid of him. And I know that sounds outrageous because he has a gaudy record, but you heard Lewis lay it out. Nobody's got, other than maybe Kirby Smart, and I don't even think he does, has the amazing roster that Ryan Day has. And if you can't win with that roster, it's time to find someone who can.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
Of course, Paul Finebaum, you had to let your Big Ten hatred get in your way of making proper judgments on Ryan Day. I'm not saying Ryan Day is some phenomenal coach that should be considered to be the best college head coach in the world, but Paul Finebaum needs to realize that there are not necessarily a lot of Ryan Days out there. Ryan Day is a solid head coach in his own right. Kirk Herbstreit has already said this himself. All these people keep crying about fire Ryan Day, fire Ryan Day, fire Ryan Day, but they never offer solutions as to who would be better than Ryan Day at the head coach position. It's not exactly like Dan Lanning is going to come over running to Ohio State. Dan Lanning has done a phenomenal job at Oregon. I want to talk about what Oregon has done all year long. They're undefeated. They're 13-0. They won the Big Ten Conference. Obviously, they beat Ohio State earlier in the year. Dillon Gabriel has been one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I feel like he's one of the most underrated players in college football as well. Nobody is talking about how great of a season he had at Oregon. I thought he was tremendously underrated, and I think he's going to give Ohio State's defense a lot of problems. However, Ohio State's offense is so good that they're going to be able to keep pace with Oregon in the Rose Bowl. I believe this is going to be a high-scoring game. I believe this is going to be one of those games where whoever gets the ball last could come out of this game victorious. It might not come down to that, but if it did, I would not be surprised whatsoever. These two teams played against each other earlier in the season. Oregon came out of this game victorious. It was a hard-fought game for Ohio State, but ultimately they fell a little bit short because Will Howard screwed up at the end of the game. He doesn't slide on time. That's why they couldn't get their last timeout in. If he slid a couple of seconds earlier, who knows? Maybe they get the field goal unit out there. Maybe they make the field goal and we're having a different conversation. But the good news for Ohio State is they get a rematch against Oregon in the Rose Bowl game. Ohio State is finally clicking at the right time. If they're properly prepared, they're going to come out there with a good game plan and they're going to out-execute Oregon. Oregon is a good football team, don't get me wrong, but I think the record is a little overrated as far as how they actually play. I don't think Oregon is necessarily playing at the level of an undefeated team. There's been some close calls for Oregon all year long. A couple of bounces goes against Oregon's way. They're not making the college football playoff, but Oregon is undefeated for a reason. They're going to come out hard. They're going to come out competitive, and it's going to be hard for Ohio State to come out of this game victorious, but I believe they're going to get the job done. They got to be able to lean on the run. They also got to be able to make big plays in the passing game. Don't be afraid to keep gunslinging the football to Jeremiah Smith. The dude is an absolute playmaker. Obviously, I trust Ohio State's playmakers more than I trust Oregon's playmakers. That's why I'm taking Ohio State to win this game. The final score of this game is going to be 42-34 Ohio State. It's going to be an exciting game, but ultimately the playmakers for Ohio State will serve as the difference. As far as Shannon Sharpe being an absolute hater, of course he's going to go down that route. He's been doubting Ohio State all year long. At this point, I expect Shannon Sharpe to get busted up with this hatred of Ryan Day sooner rather than later. So that is why Ohio State will get revenge on Oregon in the Rose Bowl game, as they will beat Oregon by the score of 42-34. By the way, happy New Year's Day to everybody out here. This is the first video for 2025. You guys did a great job supporting the channel in 2024. I've been greatly appreciative of what you guys do on a daily basis to support this channel. It means a lot to me, and let's hope that we have even more success in 2025. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest. from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.